And welcome back to Love Your Food. This week we have a really interesting recipe for you. This is for these oat pancakes. Now, they're not like the fluffy, light sort of IHOP pancakes you'll expect from a North American restaurant. They're a little denser, but they are still delicious and fluffy and really, really good for you. Now, I'd like to remind everyone we have a deal with Chef's Temp. If you check the link in the description below and use code LOVEYOURFOOD on checkout, you can get 15% off a kitchen thermometer. And now our ingredients. So we've got some AP flour and some whole wheat flour, a little bit of sugar, some buttermilk, some chia seeds, some ground flax seeds, or flax meal, some oats, just plain oats, some baking soda, some baking powder, some salt, a little bit of cinnamon, and some vanilla paste, some butter that we're going to melt, and 2 eggs. Now the first thing we're going to do is put the chia seeds into the buttermilk. We want these to just sort of bloom a little bit before we get started. So you want to get those into the liquid and stir them in, make sure they're well combined. And that will sort of start the process of the mucilage coming out of the chia seeds. Chia seeds are incredibly good for you, and this recipe is a great way to incorporate them into your diet. They're very tasty as well. Now we're going to mix up our dry ingredients. So we've got the whole wheat flour and AP flour together. To that we're going to add our oats. So these are just regular rolled oats, not quick oats or anything like that. There's our flax meal, our ground flax seeds. Into that we're going to add our sugar, our little bit of baking soda and baking powder as well. And also our small amount of salt. You do need a little bit of salt in there for flavor as well. We're going to melt the butter, and then while we're waiting for that to happen, we're going to add our cinnamon in here. And then we're going to give this a good mix. So you're just going to stir this all together until it's well combined, and this is all of our dry ingredients and the sugar all mixed together. So once that is well combined, we're going to go and finish up with our wet ingredients. So we've got the buttermilk and chia. We're going to add the vanilla paste to this. Now you can use vanilla extract as well. We're going to give that a good stir to get that vanilla paste well combined. Then we're going to add in the melted butter from the, we just microwaved it for a little while. So in goes the melted butter, and you can give that a little stir as well, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. We're just going to be adding this. We're mostly adding this to the buttermilk so that the butter doesn't stick to the sides of the container. We want to get it all out really easily. That's a good way to do it. Now we want to make sure we don't get any shell in our final product, so we're just going to crack the eggs into a small bowl here. All right, no shell in there, so that's going to go straight into our mixture here. We're going to give it a little break up first, and then that's going to go into our dry. On top of that, we're going to add in the rest of our wet ingredients and give everything a good stir. So there we go, everything added together here. And once you've got that all together, we're going to start with the chopstick. And this is really just to make sure that the least amount of stuff sticks to what you're stirring with. So the chopstick is a really helpful useful tool for this. But once it starts to get a little thick, that becomes a little harder. So we're going to move on to a scraper. Going to scrape down all the dry from the sides, scrape everything off the chopstick here. And then you're going to combine it until it gets to about this texture. And that's about where we want it. So once we've done that, we're going to put that into our hot pan. A little bit of oil in the bottom there. You can see just a bare sheen of oil at the bottom, just enough so that nothing sticks. And the really nice thing about these is they are they don't look it right now, but they are really, really fluffy once they're all cooked. You've got the baking soda and the baking powder in there. And we're going to turn these over as soon as they've got some nice color on the bottom. Now, unlike regular pancakes, they're not going to really bubble like you would expect from a regular pancake. Those, nice fluffy pancakes that we've done a video on those as well. And then once they've got some nice color on both sides, we are going to take these out of the pan. So you want these on a sort of a medium heat. You do want to make sure they cook all the way through before they get too dark on the outside. And then our preferred way of serving this is with a nice sort of a smear of butter on top and a little bit of fresh maple syrup, real maple syrup on top there. And we're just going to cut into that. And you can see how beautiful and light and fluffy that is inside. They're cooked all the way through. That's perfect. And the sweetness from the maple syrup and that little bit of vanilla and cinnamon inside the pancake adds this amazing flavor. And that's it. That's the whole thing. Super, super easy. Delicious, I have to say. These are fantastic. Make an amazing breakfast. Serve these with, you can serve these with eggs and bacon as well if you want, but they are quite hearty and you don't need a whole lot with them. They will fill you up, I promise. If you like this recipe, please do like and subscribe. And if you have any recipes you'd like to see Chef Caleb try on the channel, please let us know in the comments below. We'd like to thank our patrons over on Patreon. If you'd like to help support us there, I'll put a link for that in the description below as well. And remember to love your food.